Welcome to the June roundup of ecancer.org. I'm Gordon McVie, I'm the editor. Bumper month for ecancer, particularly thanks to our amazing performance in ASCO. We interviewed 72 key opinion leaders across the board, and we did our first live broadcast from ASCO. It was a bit nerve-wracking, but it came off and it was really brilliant. It featured two of the plenary papers, both from Europe, I'm proud to say. One was Karim Fizazi and the other was Nick James from Paris and Birmingham respectively, and they're both talking about prostate cancer and abiraterone, and this is really game-changing, practice-changing stuff. So you must have a look at that interview. It's really interesting. It's a four-man round table, and learn from it. It's really terrific. And then we have the highlights of ASCO, and I'm delighted to say that I was relieved of the responsibility of doing the highlights of ASCO this year, and our famous blogger, Bishal Diawali, did his highlights of ASCO. And as we speak, there are already 4,000 people have watched it, which is a testament to his plain and outrageously provocative speaking. You'll note that each month we have been advertising and directing you to education modules which ecancer has been regularly developing and updating and translating. And this month there is a very important niche area, and that's a teaching module on osteonecrosis of the jaw. It's a very, very nasty and thankfully unusual side effect, but it is severe when it occurs, from the administration of bone-targeting agents. These are new compounds, and so this is a new concept. The module covers prevention and management and follow-up, and it's at the moment available only in English, but our plan is to subtitle it in 4 European languages: French, Italian, German and Spanish, and these will pop up over the next 2 or 3 months. Then there are a couple of papers from the UK. There's an interesting paper on whether you should scan the brain prior to attempting curative resection of non-small cell lung cancer. This is a study done by Zoe Hudden in Bristol University and her colleagues at the Bristol Cancer Institute. And it's a retrospective study of 480 or so patients. And the bottom line is, yes, you should be including an MRI of the brain prior to the decision to go into the chest and do a curative, hopefully, resection of non-small cell lung cancer. So that's a valuable paper for you to review. And the other paper is a political one, questioning what's going to happen in the UK in terms of access to new medicines for cancer, be they molecules or antibodies, come Brexit. It's been an extremely irritating month around the general election and the lack of clarity of what's going to happen politically. But what's clear is that science of all varieties in the UK is under threat from Brexit, and the very least that could be awful would be a hindrance of free movement of scientists and doctors across into the UK and beyond and back again. So Anthony Hartswell from the University College London has written an article on what's going to happen to the European Medicines Agency. At the moment it's in London, but there are a number of tenders out for other cities in Europe who would happily host it. Will the UK continue to use the EMA? Will it have access to the EMA? Will it be bound by the EMA? Well, the answer to the last one is definitely not. Will they set up in the UK a competitor, which would be a waste of money and duplication? And there comes out of this discussion a couple of positive suggestions. One is that the UK should negotiate to be allowed to take the EMA rulings, but also take direct rulings from the Food and Drugs Administration of the United States. Why not? And this, I think, is a refreshing and positive way forward. And then there's a short paper, but an interesting one on estrogen receptors and progesterone receptors in papillary carcinoma of the thyroid. It's a paper by Dr. Eldin and colleagues in Manufia University in Egypt. And it's a review of 66 patients where the original samples were retested and studied for estrogen receptor alpha and progesterone receptor. 19% of those pathology cases had positive overexpression of ER alpha and almost double that progesterone receptor. The PR didn't seem to make a great deal of difference in terms of outcome, but the expression of the estrogen receptor was associated with a more aggressive form of thyroid cancer. Very interesting. And then in last brief sign-off, not I hope completely the last sign-off from my co-editor who founded ecancer, and that's Umberto Veronese. We have published a special issue which we promised last month. It's bound now. We don't usually bind things, but for the Milan breast cancer in his name, we have got some help from the Fondazione Veronese, and they have paid for binding 500 or so. These just be very important treasures for you to keep for posterity. There's an editorial in there from me, and there will be an interview where I talk about my friendship with Umberto Veronese. The Milan Breast Cancer meeting is 22nd of June, and we'll be filming there, and you can read all about that by the beginning of July. Thanks.